So it came to my attention that I don't know religion. I grew up in a household where evolution, biology, and science came first, and believing in pretty much anything else was not really up for debate. I wouldn't change the way I was raised, but also I'm very curious to see what I missed out on. So today I'm going to start reading the Bible. This will be a very long series, and letting you guys know now, I wouldn't call myself a hard atheist, but I would also not call myself a strong believer in any of it. I have no backstory, so this is pretty much the Bible with zero context. I'm going to make a little mind map as I go because I know nothing other than Jesus and God, and that's basically it. We're starting at the Bible. So I believe it starts with Genesis 1-1. Is that I don't know what you'd call it, but either way, this is it. So who's narrating? Is it this King James guy? Is it Sir Bible? I have no context, so I really need someone to tell me. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. I've heard this one before. Growing up, I remember a few lessons here and there about God basically making everything. You know, Adam and Eve, I'm pretty sure everyone is well aware of that. But I'm going to get to the bottom of this story. Okay, so he made it in the beginning. He just created it, heaven and earth. What do we know? Alright, let's write that down. So let's add our good boy, the God. God. What did he do? Well, he made heaven and earth. So pretty self-explanatory. He made everything, as far as we know. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was, see that? They specifically say was, upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. I already have to take a minute to just reread that whole sentence. Okay, so he created the earth and heaven, and the earth was without form and void. I take it the earth is a blank slate. Pretty much like me. Hi, I'm a blank slate when it comes to knowing anything about religion. All of my assumptions are going off exactly what is written here, and if they do not specify what's going on, I'm just going to assume probably the worst, because if they don't say Jesus was, a beautiful man with long hair, well, I don't know that, do I? This is my take on religion. This is my take on the Bible without any outsiders' views or opinions. Okay, so there was void and there was darkness was upon the face of the deep. I don't know what the deep is. I could assume the deep is under the earth. That's my assumption. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. So maybe the waters is the goodness of the planet, and the void, this darkness, is underneath the planet. Look, you're going to have to bear with me, whoever knows the Bible back on the back of their hand. Here we go. I love this one. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. Just like that, guys. Now, I knew this one growing up. I think most people who enter a bedroom and turn their lights on has at least once said, "Let there be light." But coming from a scientific background and point of view, you can't just, But hey, maybe you can. Maybe he started the light in the universe or Earth or something. He also hasn't mentioned the sun. Is that the sun? Or is he just... Yeah. Enough said. And God saw the light, that it was good. Specifically was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. Okay, so God sounds like a guy or girl, hasn't specified yet. He saw the light and it was good. That it was good. So God knew light equals good. And God divided the light from the darkness. So darkness inherently isn't good, I'd say. I hope they get into why he saw, like, how did he know for a fact it was good? You know? God, if you're listening, mate, tell me. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. Okay, so we got some context here. So light's day, darkness night. So does that mean inherently daytime is good and nighttime's bad? Is that what that means? And the evening and the morning were the first day. Okay, well, I'm glad they figured out how like a day-night cycle works. I'm pretty sure I learnt that in Minecraft at one point. Simple enough so far. I don't know what everyone's talking about, this Bible thing being hard to understand. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." Guys, what's a firmament? I don't know what a firmament means. I think I might have to look this one up. So, let there be heaven in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Someone know what this means? Or were they smoking some stuff back then, man? Midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. So he's got heaven in the midst of the waters. So, okay, so heaven and sky is in the middle of the water. Let it divide the water from... I'm just guessing. Space between the physical realm of the water. Or sky, or something. I don't know yet. So far, let's recap. God. This boy. Yep. He made the big H. He also made this is a terrible sun, by the way. He made day and he made night. That's not a moon, I'm sorry. Here's a better moon. There we go. Okay. So he made heaven. Let's give it a little angel ring. See, I know some extra facts about this. It's not called an angel ring, it's called a halo. Don't judge me. Okay, so God, big man, or big someone. God did these great things for earth. Split the place between the heaven and water. That's what he's done. Pretty cool. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. I feel like I'm having a stroke reading this already, and I hope it doesn't get worse. So, God made heaven and divided the waters, so split in the two, that's my take, which were under the heavens from the waters which were above the heaven, and it was so. I'm very lost already. Divided the water which were under the firmament from the waters which are above the firmament. So he just divided the waters from above and below heaven or sky, and it was so. Let's just add "and it was so" to everything, because it sounds like it's just the old language of "trust me, bro." And it was so. Enough said. Don't question it. And God called the firmament heaven. I think we learnt that, didn't we? No, I had to look that up. Why didn't I just wait? I'm being impatient. See, this is me putting context into the non-context Bible reading. I shouldn't be doing this, should I? And the evening and the morning were the second day. Okay, we figured out how the next day happens. Evening and morning. Very good. Okay, so firmament equals heaven. Let's write that down. Yeah? Firmament equals heaven. Essentially. That's it. That's our language box for now on. And God said, Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. Naturally speaking, it was so. Okay, so God made the heaven between the waters. Now let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. So I take it he's forming the ocean, and the dry land is, well, the dry land. Hasn't mentioned trees yet, hasn't mentioned ozone layers or any, atmosphere, but there has been light, there's been water, and there's been land, which are pretty big components for the fundamentals of the planet's existence. And God called the dry land Earth. Now I'm confused. Does that mean the dry land is the planet Earth, or as in when you're speaking about the soil, the earth? I think maybe that. And the gathering together of the waters called the seas. Wait. Called he seas? I hope that's a typo. Called the seas. And God saw that it was good. God's up in the CEO top level of a building. He's the big shot up there. He's making all the calls, saying, yeah, move that desk there. Just add a little bit of ocean over there, and we'll add a little bit of glitter on top to make it pretty. And all he has to do is say that it was good, and then it was so. The water he called the seas, land he called earth. Makes sense so far. Love that. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. My whole thing is that it sounds very easy, him just making these things. Like grass, that's not really a natural growing thing around a lot of the planet. Australia, for instance, we only have so much of grass because our English heritage of let's just make a nice lawn and maintain it and put the hedges up, and herb yielding seed, and a fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind. Does that mean the fruit is related to him or us? I don't know. Whose seed is in itself upon the earth. Some of this language is going to kill me. And it was so. I think it takes away the credibility of 4.5 billion years of the fight for life, pretty much. I love everything paleo. I love prehistoric everything. I can almost recite 4.5 billion years off the top of my head, but I cannot understand half of the words in this Bible. God just going, shebang, here you go, we've got grass, and shebang, there's a fruit tree. Doesn't really explain anything other than he just wanted it for who knows why. We'll get to that, won't we? And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. I felt like that was the same thing, just repeated. Okay, so he's got grass. Grass isn't even a fundamental to humans at all. It's really an aesthetic. Herb yielding seed, I can see that being very fundamental for our survival, as well as tree yielding fruit, which their seed is in itself. Now I understand what it means. One thing that I hope to find out is to see if all of these things added to Earth, in the Bible's view, is only to benefit man. There's a quote which I'm going to loosely base off in one of Charles Darwin's Origins of Species book. He mentioned something along the lines of any fruit tree that man cultivates and eats and harvests and reproduces, that fruit has only been modified over the hundreds of years to serve man's purpose of being good for us. We didn't do it for the fruit. We didn't consider how the fruit would feel. We made apples bigger, and we also made animals bigger. The common chicken would have grown double in size, but no one ever stopped to think about the chicken's consent of, hey, maybe I want to keep flying and I don't want to get heavier and heavier. But man, over time, with my point of view of evolution, have specifically chosen that to feed man better. It's not in the animals' good. It's not for the animals' good. It's not for the fruit's good. And this sentence is sort of verifying that point of view. And the evening and the morning were the third day. So old mate's done this in 3 days. That's pretty good. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." So he basically invented a calendar. Prove me wrong. Okay, so God, what else has he done? He made a bloody calendar. He's got some pretty good trades under his belt so far. He can alter reality, put things between water and sky. He can make day and the night. He can do the heaven and the earth. I better draw the planet, hey. Alright, so he's made Earth, made the day and the night. He pretty much invented calendars, even though, this is where I'm conflicted, because I would say pre-human calendars and time was not a thing, wasn't constructed yet, because there was no species on the planet that needed a calendar, because why would they need to know when Christmas is around the corner or they're late for work? They just wouldn't. They'd just be running off their natural clock. It is a human construct, but it also sounds like a God's construct now. So, very interesting. "And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so." So these day-night lights, struggling. "And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also." That's a pretty good flex. By the way, he just sprinkled in the whole entire stars that we see every single night. So the greater light must be the sun, and the lesser light must be the moon. He made that. Cool. Good to know. So the earth was there before the sun and the moon, even though there was already plants on the planet and they need sunlight and the water needs moonlight, but we'll figure it out. "And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good." Again, some of these sentences just sound like repeating, trust me bro. "And the evening and the morning were the 4th day." Okay, so 4th day, he's pretty much made leaps and bounds. The whole sun, the whole moon, all the stars. That's a pretty successful 4th day, because he didn't have to do anything outside of our planet, but he's kind. He did do it. "And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven." Okay, let's digest that one. So, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life. So the waters, again, bit stuck on the waters. I feel like it's a metaphor. That doesn't mean the ocean. Maybe he's adding life outside of humans, and fowl that may fly above the earth. I assume with fowl it's a bird, type of bird, and the flying above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. Some birds maybe can fly in the space of heaven. Think about that one. God created great whales. Wait. So he's like, yep, seeds, fruit trees, suns, moons, stars, a couple of birds in the sky. What's next? Whales, obviously. Great ones. So he created great whales and every living creature that moveth. Obviously, they've got to moveth if they're livingeth, which the waters brought forth abundantly. Okay, so the waters did some great things after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. I'm not understanding after their kind compared to after his kind, but they have said his. I might have missed a his earlier, but this confirms God is something between his legs. All right. And God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth." Okay, so basically he's telling them to, the birds and the bees, multiply, fill the waters in the seas. Is he only referring to these whales and other sea animals that are in the ocean? Because I don't know if they knew that far back when the Bible was first written that all life originated from the seas, but hey, it could be a coincidence, or maybe they did know something we didn't. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. Okay, fifth day, we've got whales. Pretty good day. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind." And it was so. I really do feel like I'm having a stroke. Okay, so he's bringing living creatures after his kind. Does that mean me and you? Maybe? Cattle, very specific, again, just like the great whales. Only cattle. And creeping thing. What is creeping thing? And beast of the earth. Okay, so creeping thing, I have no idea. Maybe that's, all the carnivores, maybe, or anything we hunted, or something like that. Because I feel like in old human language, a beast, is something of a beast. Something you fell, something you fight, something that can kill us, and make us not feel like we're the apex predator every time. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. Okay, I'm almost going to have to get C-3PO out here to start decoding what this means. So he made the beasts of the earth after his kind, so I assume all animals after his kind, and cattle after their kind. So why is cattle after their kind? How can something like a cattle be made after their kind when it's the first time they're being made? If they didn't pre-exist, how? And everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. Does that mean bugs? Creepy crawlies? I don't know, we'll find out. Maybe God had worms, and it was after his kind, and it was good. And God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." Wow. Okay, that's pretty big information for the sixth day. So, he made man in our image. Does he refer to our as in us, or our as in God and maybe the council of whoever gets to decide about the big whale population? Let them rule over pretty much anything that lives. So I assume anyone listening who's been raised religious, you would have been told to rule over these animals that exist in our planet. We are not here to rule them. We are living amongst them, and I think there's a lot of people that forget that we are no better or no higher up than any other creature on the planet. I don't think we should be ruling. I don't think we should have dominion over the fish, over the fowl, over the cattle, or anything that creepeth under our skin. I think this view has probably damaged a lot of the natural world, because it just tells every human that believes in the Bible that, hey, you go get that fowl, you go get that fish, that's fine. We are made to do it. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Okay, so basically he made male and female. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. That's going to destroy our planet if we do that. If we continue having dominion, or so-called a false sense of dominion of this planet, because I grew up with a thing called Mother Nature, and when you push Mother Nature a bit too hard in one direction, she'll push 10 times harder back. So this is extremely dangerous information, especially if you're telling the youth and the youth below that and the youth below that one, because this is telling every human that animals were made for us to subdue and have rule over. Basically, multiply and replenish the earth. All we've done to the earth is damage it. Because at the end of the day, the earth will continue rolling and humans will just struggle. If we have no fish in the sea, if we have no fowl in the air, cattle or creepy things, we're gone. Because we rely on them. The Bible knows we rely on them because it's stated what we need to be fruitful. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think meat grows on trees. Unless I'm reading this wrong. So he gave you all the herbs, gave you every tree, in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. Yeah, I'm not getting it. I'm really not getting this one. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. I think it just clicked. I think it's referring to, I've just given you a bunch of herbs to go with your meat. Maybe? Or to feed the meat? It could either be, I've given you all these herbs because it's helping the cattle grow, or here's a little dash of rosemary for your steak. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. I'm glad you clarified, because I was beginning to think it wasn't very good, because it has been a while since you've stated that. And the evening and the mornings were the sixth day. Okay, well, I think that's a perfect time to end this part of Genesis. We're going to start 2 on the next video. My take on Genesis so far sounds pretty much like the beginnings or the setup or some sort of epilogue of the Bible or religion or God as a whole. My experience of knowledge from Earth's 4.5 billion year journey is extremely different to this. Technically, the Earth is only 6 days old and it has everything that we need to survive. It's got food, it's got water, it's got plants, it's got big whales, but nothing explains why there's a cattle. Like, how did the cattle become a cattle? For me, I know over millions of years, something along the way would have evolved to have a lot more milk produce for its calf. Man coming along, being the hunter-gatherers we are, we realise, damn, that thing's got a lot of milk. Let's keep milking it, as they say. He also made every living thing and creature. With that knowledge, he seems like a very powerful man. So basically, Genesis 1, we've learnt firmament means heaven. We learnt that God is a dude, in fact. He made heaven. He made the day and the night, the sun and the stars and the moon. He made Earth, obviously. He also invented like the calendar and the whole time construct and months and seasons. It's very interesting. I'm trying to go into this with a super open mind. I'm not trying to bag Christianity or any religion. I'm just trying to actually read this for the first time because I've heard some stories, I know some things, but I really don't know the Bible, and I feel like I can't judge it until I've gone through it all. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I'm not going to stop making these until I get through the whole thing, and even then I might start reading the other ones if there are any. Okay, on the next one we're going to touch into Genesis 2. I hope you guys are looking forward to it, because I am starting to feel like this is harder to read than Macbeth at this point. So I'll see you all in the next one.